Drones have a big potential. It's a fast evolving technology. And I think as a port authority, it's important to use that technology to have a better view what is happening in the port. And as such, we try to open our port for the many drone companies which are around. In September, we did a big test in a very operational and dangerous environment where a lot of chemical companies are. So 10 drones flew together, and it was a European sponsored project to identify how the interaction is between these different drones. It's also a good example where legislation is stimulating innovation. So it was a European sponsored project.
We share with all the attendants what are the main relevant initiatives in terms of environmental issues in the Port of Barcelona. That it means at the end of the day how we can improve the air quality of our surrounding area, not just the port area, we are talking about as well in the city. So as a port, as a public body, we have our duty to do it, and this is the reason why we are putting our best efforts, our investments to do it. The main idea is the port is progressively electrifying the ports in order to provide the energy to the piers, okay? And this is what we are doing. This is the most relevant concept, because we want to reduce the carbon footprint emissions, the polluting emissions, and the greenhouse gases that are burning the auxiliary engines when are alongside the vessel. We want to cut it. We want to reduce as much as we can.
I try to explain how we in Hamburg try to develop, how to make traffic flows, passenger flows more efficient. And it's a bottleneck at the main station always, all the passengers traveling around Hamburg coming together at the main station on a very narrow space. And our challenge is, how can we get the passengers as quick as possible to the cruise terminals, and also, speed up the check-in process and the luggage process at the cruise terminals in the Port of Hamburg.
As we walk into the digital era, we are forced to rethink the interaction between ports and cities. When we think about a port-city interface, we think of things like community relations, social acceptability, communications, social media, etc. What we want to do is tell the story about how digital is actually transforming the port-city relationship in forcing us to better manage data, better manage information for the purpose of neighboring communities and also for the purpose of our supply chain customers. So we are using two projects to showcase how artificial intelligence is improving truck fluidity in Montreal. Ports are major and significant generators of truck activity. In Montreal, this means 2,500 trucks per day. So how do we manage that, and how do we make sure the trucks stay off the city streets and don't add to the urban congestion that's already existing? So we need to be smart about optimizing our current infrastructure. So we have two projects that we are presenting here and showcasing here in Barcelona today. The first one is related to a trucking portal that we launched 3 years ago in 2016. So the trucking portal is a tool that's available on any smartphone, and it's fully public. And what it does, it provides real-time information on congestion levels to truck drivers and dispatchers, so they can better plan and optimize their routings and trips to the Port of Montreal. So the app, actually what it does, it provides transaction times for each of the container terminal in real time. So truck drivers, if they have non-urgent transactions and it's actually a state of congestion, they can defer their transactions to either later or the next day. So it basically acts to flatten the demand of trucks. So what I'm here to present today is actually the phase 2 of the portal, which is we're enhancing it by integrating predictive analytics into the portal. So truck drivers are consuming this information. They say, great, real-time information is good, but I want to know how the port will perform tomorrow morning, Monday morning, or this afternoon. So they want to know and forecast. So we're working with a local Montreal AI partner to develop an algorithm that's going to forecast and predict truck processing time and performance. So we are actually testing this in beta mode as we speak, and we will roll this into production around Christmas time. The other project is with a local startup based in Montreal called CanScan. Their solution is using artificial intelligence algorithms in image recognition to inspect containers as they come in by truck inside the port. So the algorithm will look for rust, physical damage to the container, and also can read the container identification, but also will identify whether there's a seal on the container or not, if the seal has full integrity, if it's broken. So they are developing the algorithm. They're testing the algorithm with 2 of our terminals, and they have implemented their solution quite successfully to actually speed up the process of inspection. So right now, today, as we speak, every container that drives into the port must be inspected by a human being. And with the algorithm, it has the potential to actually use video feeds to inspect the containers and only identify those that present anomalies and defects and verify those. So the checker can actually work remotely in a more comfortable environment, and also we expect this to fast track and accelerate the transaction process of trucks as they come in.
We believe in a smart port that is connected, because there's so much to gain in the logistics chain. Like about 30% of the cargo is still delayed. So if you see what you can save in money, there's about 50 to 150 billion, studies say, that you can save money within the maritime industry. But then you have to organize your own port and grow into a smart port. But as a port alone, that is not enough. So you have to get connected all over the world, because ships sail between ports and the chain goes beyond your own port. So we have to be a smart connected port, and that's our vision.
The first presentation really was highlighting the environmental stewardship that the Port of Los Angeles, actually in combination with the Port of Long Beach, is doing. Southern California, from an air quality point of view, has significant challenges. The ports contribute, unfortunately, to those environmental issues, and so as a port authority we have a responsibility and an opportunity to actually lead the way introducing new technologies. And the reason why we can lead the way is because we're very significant from a size point of view. We have a very large population base as well, but we are the #1 gateway for the country. And so for engine manufacturers, for equipment manufacturers, being on the front end of environmental technologies also allows equipment manufacturers to enter a market that perhaps they haven't been in before. Our goal is, of course, clean technologies, and as a port authority, together with Long Beach, we are prepared, together with other agencies, California Resources Board, Air Quality Management District, to put forth monies to make sure that we can introduce the cleanest technologies possible in port operations.